sabotaging themselves. And by the way, that's to give you all insight because we speak honestly here. Hey Keston, hey Jamie, morning. Is this the first time I ever came up with a topic? Normally I always call you. It's like one of the rare times.
Naturally.
Majority is you. Right?
Yeah. It's not the first time.
Majority of the time, folks, it's Lyndon. Alright? It's not laziness on my part, it's just that because Lyndon is a practitioner, that's yours. More than me, it kinda gets him to have a lot more content. But what I've been fortunate in doing is that I've been having sales conversations. Good morning, Red Bushin man. Good morning, everybody. I've been having some conversations. So there's a company that I help out of Tobago.
Right.
And every morning for the sales professional there, because she's new to it, I talk to her about
Morning,
what her
folks. If I
activity.
didn't say that from before.
Yes.
Morning.
Actually, yeah. Hold on. Jarrod Best Michelle.
Lyndon Bradford.
Sales is a profession. We've been working on it. Don't know if you've been seeing the stories. We have been working on it. So take a look at all the stories. But yeah, so every morning I do a quick call with her.
Right.
Like literally 5-10 minutes max just to find out what's your plans, what's some of the challenges, what we could do to help you do more every day.
Right.
And the day I called her and she sounded completely down and she sent me a voice note saying, Jarrod, things was bad today, nothing went well, and she just had to talk to me tomorrow. So I said, cool.
Right.
So I gave her a call the next morning. I'm like, hey, what's up? And she explains to me, say, Jarrod, yesterday was so bad. Like, I have these 5 customers who I'm trying to get to take this particular service from us. And, they haven't, and trying to get them to close. And, it's really frustrating. So nothing went well yesterday.
Right.
So I'm like, okay. So my thing is I like to get granular. I'm like, okay, so walk me through the day.
Right.
Tell me what happened for your entire day. So she's going through with me for the day and she's like, well, I visited the first customer and I was talking to them about this in terms of taking the package. And when he got deep into it, the customer's contract to renew the item finishes in February. So I'm like,
Right.
if
So
I'm the
the customer
customer,
ready.
I'm not renewing now.
Yeah.
So
They have 1 more month remaining.
yeah, you're booking your money in the wrong time.
Right.
Hey, Leo! How are you, sir? That's all. Used to
That's
be the
it,
master
yes.
trainer in Samsung. He's a
Oh,
boss.
okay.
Yeah. So that was her first thing. So I said, no problem. So I explained it to her. I said, you need to book that money in February. It's not now. Because if I'm the customer, I'm telling you, I'm not dishing out my money now.
Right.
Unless there was a risk of you saying, listen, we cannot give you the spot because it was booked up by somebody else.
Right.
And that's not the case. So therefore, I'm not spending my money.
Right.
So
Which
then-
makes sense. Most customers, I would do that as a consumer.
Yeah. So then she's telling me a lot about it. So honestly, some things went bad, things didn't go good. She wasn't getting any feedback from some customers. So I was giving her the tips on what to do in terms of how to engage, try different strategies. But then she told me, she's like, yeah, so I only went by these other 3 customers and I was able to close them for stuff. And I'm like, hold on, wait a second.
Right.
The way you're sounding, I swear,
Nothing happened.
you did no sales. I was like, stop shitting on yourself.
Right.
I was upset. I'm like, no, you closed sales. Like, let's talk about that.
Yeah,
Let's talk about what was good and why it is you closed that business.
Right.
And she's like, well, I walked around and I was blitzing and, I got these customers. I was able to show them what we did for the companies. And I'm like,
You're doing the work? Yeah.
so remember, we spoke about this. Everybody who follows our lives will be familiar with this. We spoke about breaking up your pipeline because we always talk about you have customers that will close, which is your bread and butter. Then have things that have a longer sales cycle.
Yeah.
What she's trying to get is a longer sales cycle, and I was trying to explain that to her. Those customers won't close off the bat just so because it's a
Correct.
longer decision process.
Correct.
But your bread and butter is what you need to also focus on.
Yeah, and I think this was actually last week's discussion where your bread and butter helps you survive to an extent, and even if you don't make that number in the month of, let's say, January,
Right.
more than likely that can actually help you in February to make up the difference.
Correct.
Right? But what is it that you're saying is a mindset thing, right?
Definitely
Because-
mindset. That's our theme for January.
Yeah. So she is looking at having this particular set of customers, and because she didn't achieve that, then she I didn't have a good month.
Correct. No, she's very new into sales. So again,
Right.
to me, this is all the things that you'll expect when you're in sales.
Right.
From somebody who's new, especially if you don't have like a consistent coach or a guide. So she was able to, because I was able to explain to her a couple of things to pay attention to, because I told her, look at your wins. How did you get it? And then what you need to do, as I keep saying, is duplicate that activity. So if it is that you were able to close and they do media and print. So if you're able to close customers to do graphics on their wall or whatever it is,
Right.
find more customers to do that and keep doing the examples,
Exactly.
drill long on that
Yeah,
activity.
yeah.
And that's why I was honestly concerned with that when I told her, you need to stop shitting on yourself. Like, you are doing a great job.
Yeah.
You're doing a fantastic job. Stop making it think that you're actually not doing what you're supposed to.
Once you are doing the work from a consistency standpoint, and that's something that we have to understand in sales, right?
Yeah.
You might be doing all the work, but you're just not seeing the results right now. I have worked on many opportunities, Jarrod, and I'm sure some of these guys, I'm sure Jamie and whoever else is on the call, Keston, you guys would have worked on opportunities hoping that they close in the month that you're working on them on, or the month you want them to work on, and it didn't happen, only to realize that 2-3 months down the line, guess what happens?
Yeah.
It's ready to close.
Correct.
But just make sure you do the work.
Just
and
make sure you do the work.
Feel proud about that, because what you're doing is that you're sowing the seeds, which again is a big mindset thing, because if it is like you did nothing, and you, of course, you have no sales, then you can feel bad about yourself. Then you can say all the crap about that you want to say about yourself, right?
Completely understand.
Because one of the things that Jarrod and I always say is that your biggest competition is yourself.
Correct.
Right? So if you feel bad and you don't want to make your own calls, or I feel like getting up this morning and oh gosh, I had to go through this, and the customers might be like, then you before you even deal with competition, you're competing against yourself, you can't do nothing for the day.
Exactly. You defeat yourself before you even start out the gate. And the thing is, to me, it lies on confidence, because customers feed off of that when you talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I think what it is we did, boy, remember we were doing activity. We were doing calls to some people, you and I.
Yes.
And immediately as we did one, we was like, great, let's just go get the other one.
That started to give you momentum to do the other and do the other.
And we got what, 5 in one
5
day?
in one afternoon. 5 in one evening.
So, and Jamie saying she wants her daily voice note. I asked Lyndon for a daily motivation notes, and I don't get it from Lyndon, yeah? So Lyndon sets me up all the time. But no, but you see, what I try to give her reference to is that you have to get, and is our theme for January, you have to get your mindset right.
Already, yeah, correct.
So you have to understand that there are days that it's going to be bad, but you have to look at your overall activities. And then one point I'll bring across to sales managers as well is that if you're monitoring what your team activity is, because remember, it's not just leading, it's coaching as well, because that's something we were talking about recently.
That's correct.
If it is that you have a team and you realize somebody has a huge pipeline but things aren't closing, you're supposed to coach them to find out what's going on. Maybe they're not good in closing, but they're great in prospecting, so you need to show them, look at this positive
and how you balance of it too. But you see, like, and what I would commend you on doing is helping her recognize where she's been good. You understand? Because a lot of us, because our success, and this is a general thing in sales and business, a lot of our success is measured on how much we close, and not always on what your activity is like. It's actually something that I've started to, you would have seen me do something last week where I was on the field with a field representative.
Correct.
I was celebrating her activity. Yeah. She didn't close nothing yet, but I'm celebrating the activity, because guess what? The activity is something that she didn't have as consistent as what she has now.
Correct.
Right? So once you start celebrating your activities and understanding those are little things that you need
to get into the next step.
Because you can't close unless you start doing those things. And once you start saying, okay, I want to do 5 calls today, I want to book 5 appointments for next week or whatever it is, then you celebrate those things. And if it's something that I've learned to tell myself, that if you set little goals for yourself, whether it's in prospecting or doing a follow-up with a customer,
it really helps.
Those things help you become a daily achiever. Don't just measure yourself on what deals you close.
Yeah.
You understand? But if you're becoming a daily achiever in terms of your tasks, then closing is going to be easy for you.
Correct. So I really want to stretch it out to everybody who's in sales right now, and I seen Janie's on. Janie's a little veteran, but she's also slightly new to sales. And for everybody who's listening, you really, really need to just look at your positives, and you really need to understand that it's not everything that you have to shit on yourself for.
No.
If you make an error and all, like, I look at it as I learned something. Like, if you made an error, like, that's exactly how my mindset is right now. Hey Jason, morning, congrats on all the event yesterday. That's Jason McConnell. Karen, Cassia, Boskill Empire, and them actually had a branding event yesterday. That was really well.
That. And also a very good you and Cassia did also a very good video on branding. I'm waiting for the second part of it, huh?
Yeah, correct.
Same. Yeah.
So what I want to do now, and what I would always stress to them, so the activity now is we understand we always look at the negative as a sales professional.
Yes.
What I always want to stress on now is how to teach people to look at the positive.
Look at the positive, right?
The first thing you can do to look at your positive, guys, and you see it from me doing it on a regular basis, is that I have my grateful posts. You don't want to do a grateful post? No problem. Write down what activities you did for the day, and you're going to realize how successful you were.
Right.
I had 5 appointments today. It might not have led to closes, but I didn't have 5 appointments yesterday.
Yep.
I had 4, or I had 3. And eventually you start to look at it in terms of it. Look at it in terms of the activity. Say you actually had a call where you're able to bring a customer to a decision with regards to your product or service. Start looking at, again, these small wins. So
Small
for me
wins are very
personally,
important,
yeah. I don't know if I told you something I started doing now is that I stopped making long lists in terms of things to do.
Right.
Like if I reach 3 things, I'm like, that's great. Let's work on these 3.
Yeah, well, and I'll piggyback off of you because something that I learned, which I'll definitely share with you all because I share with clients as well. Something that I learned from David Belgrave. He's a former CEO of Massey Technologies Infocom. He always walked around with a little piece of paper in his pocket, and every day or in the morning, I would see him take out a piece of paper and he would scratch off certain things. And I remember asking him, I said, you always have that piece of paper, or sometimes he might write down something else. And one day he showed me, he said, I try to achieve, there's a CEO, right? You would like to think that CEO has a shitload of to-dos.
Yep.
But he just has 4 things that he wants to achieve, and he's broken them up in terms of what's important and what's urgent.
Yeah.
And once he's achieved those things, he's fine. And if there's another task that he thinks that he has the time to work on, he just writes it down.
Yeah.
And that has actually kept him very productive. What it means that he has to follow up with his other business unit heads, or he has certain things that he needs to follow up in terms of or do in terms of writing out letters or following up with customers. Simple things, and you would be surprised as to how successful that your day becomes. You know what actually that reminds me of? It reminds me of
Curtis morning.
Or Curtis on the call. No, it's strange enough that you said that because organized effort is coming out of Curtis Toussaint's book, where he talks about structuring your day towards achieving your desired tasks. And the same thing that we're talking about, if it is that you set up simple things that you want to achieve on a daily basis,
yep,
then you will realize that you are a daily achiever.
Yes.
Right? So Jarrod is talking about he has 3 things he would normally do. I've learned to do 4 things, and I've seen other successful people, you don't have to have 20 things that you need to do, because that frustrates you. That is going to overwhelm you and you get nothing done. Take it from me.
Yeah.
I used to have 20 things. I want to do this and that and this and that.
And by the way, share with us some of your stories too as well. Share with us as well, even if you had times where your mindset was defeated or you probably was looking at things the wrong way, because I would love the audience and stuff to hear it, and for person to see it later on to actually tell them exactly what you guys were saying, because we have it viewing here that we load up on YouTube, so you want to share those, and we have it on Facebook as well. But I can personally tell you from even my days when I was young into sales, I remember prospecting and being frustrated at the end of the day because everybody I called said no, or either hung up on me.
But what was you winning then?
I got really good at cold calling.
You understand where I'm coming from?
Like,
you understand? And that's exactly the answer.
When I did it the next day, I was like, yeah. Alright, I got the list prepared faster. I did a little more research, and from doing literally like 50 calls the day before and got 0 meetings, I did half and I got 4 meetings.
Yeah, and that is exactly the answer I was hoping Jarrod was going to give, because of the fact that even if you don't listen, I have bad calling days. Sometimes customers don't answer, they don't call back. It doesn't matter, but I get better every single day in terms of who I try to speak with, the level of the person. There was actually a time I actually made a call to someone and I forgot to do a particular part of it, and the person had to cut me off and say, listen, I'm busy. I was like, shit, I forgot to really ask the person if they had the time, because I was kind of intrusive on the call. But guess what happened? I learned from that. You understand? So, and
the next call now
was
even better.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, guys, you have to, again, you look at, if you don't have the level of success that you want out of it, it doesn't mean that you are unsuccessful or you had a shitty day.
Yeah.
It just means, alright, so, but I still did something.
Yep.
You understand? So I did something, it didn't go the way I planned it out, but what can I take away from this? And that's the most important thing to get out of it.
Just want to say congrats to Tammy, because she said, same here, I work strictly in referrals, but recently got access to a huge database of contacts. Boom.
Right.
And it made me better with objections via cold calls and cold calling as a whole.
Tammy.
Yes.
You and I have to have a discussion, and as a matter of fact, I'm glad that you said that, because you and I sent you something and I didn't get back your feedback as yet.
See we will work on it.
So we have to work on it.
And then, so I think next week what we'll probably do too is that I think we should probably give some of our best cold calling tips in the next live. That'll be one thing that we have to do. But overall, Jamie says she dreads cold calling. Least favorite part of sales. Nah. Let me tell you, yeah?
Alright, so I'll tell you. So across the board, let me tell you something. Across the board, cold calling is definitely, and I know that we sort of shift from, but cold calling is definitely going to be one of the things that you guys dread because you all don't know how to do it properly. And it's not something that is taught. Even from some of your sales managers. They will say, well, call the customer. But I know for a fact that sales managers or sales leads, team leaders, they don't teach you all how to do cold calling properly. Right?
Correct.
So some of them themselves, they may not even know how to do the cold call. They may be just as nervous as you are, right?
My good friend Dylan, which is Berry Lincoln Tobago, the best. Mama told you the gold standard in stores.
He had the best stores, right?
One area of to touch on is too many cold calls. There's too many calls. Nobody likes a sales rep calling them every morning to ask if they're interested in the sale.
Yeah, and that's the same
now, think about this. Some of you all might think that's on a local level. One of the guys who I follow, which is Anthony Inorino, right? He has written 3 fantastic books I recommend you get all, especially The Lost Art of Closing. He said there's a sales rep that has called him every year.
I think I remember seeing that.
Notice what I said, right? He calls him every quarter, I think, for the past 6 years.
Right.
To find out if he has made a decision with regards to a service. That's all he does. So to me, you can't do that. You have to structure your call different.
You gotta structure.
So I said this earlier. Give your customers the respect that if you want their money, treat them on an individual basis and you get a higher success rate. If you call them all the time with the same story all the time, and as you did the person before, your success rate in closing them drops drastically. Whereas if you treat them on an individual basis and literally break it down and give them that personalized attention, you have a higher rate. Keston is saying success and or failure is predictable, so the focus should be on the activity and recording that activity to measure it against your goal or target.
Excellent.
Yeah, but here the hardship though, because I know will admit it too. It's hard for a lot of people in sales if you don't have a CRM to record the activity. Because you have to do it manually. Because remember Tom Hopkins spoke about that, yeah?
You have to do it manually. Now, even self, right? Again, I come from the old school. So I didn't have CRM coming up in sales.
Nope.
Right? But I knew how to track. I had a notebook. And then I developed an Excel. And eventually we got a CRM. And the CRM came from, well, that's when I was at Massey. But what Keston's point, or Jarrod's point, is that you must be able to track your activity. So there are certain things that I would normally write down. I have a whiteboard at home, and I have things on my phone, and I also have things on in a notebook. I know exactly what I want to do. So based upon wherever I'm going to be on the day, if I'm at home, well, it's either on the phone or on the notebook. And I just scratch those things off as soon as I get them done. You understand? So you must be able to track your activity, and we have to learn how to measure success. Sometimes I might say that success is measured by money. Not all the time. Money is the result of having successful activities from before. Yeah, right? If you get the money when you do other things right towards closing your business.
Alright, I can take that.
And it's not coming from. I'm not saying money is not a measure, right?
Okay.
I'm not saying money is not a measure.
That's a little more context. It's gonna say money is an important measure.
So I'm not sorry. So we're clear. Money is a measure, but it's not the only measure. You get the money when you do the other tasks correctly.
And for example, since Keston is also saying, sorry about that. I swear I had that off. Keston is also saying that you may not be successful every day at the sale, but you could still experience some success on the activity side, which is correct. So what I always tell people, and this is some truths I'll tell you now. Because I'm in Samsung and stuff, and overall, I'm not hardcore into where you're always doing selling.
Right.
But one thing I do with regards to my personal activity every morning that gets me in a good mood is like, one, we spoke about having music. Like music for both of us really helps. That puts me in a fantastic mood.
That's correct.
But I kid you not, everybody in their house has a mirror. Tell yourself something good.
Yeah.
That is the most simplest activity. Or at least talk to yourself about what you want to accomplish for the day, and watch yourself in your eyes saying, you know what, I have 5 meetings I want to get today. I need to actually close off X and Y customer, and I want to get this amount in terms of revenue towards my pipeline.
Correct.
that's what I'm going to
And
do
that's,
today.
and that's what's important. So again, setting yourself up in relation to understanding what your wins are, based upon your activities,
Yep.
is how you start not feeling down about yourself, right? If it is that you're, and I know we're talking things like cold calls, you can go to a couple meetings and have shitty meetings.
Yeah.
You understand? So you could do the calls well, but then go to the meeting and miss
everything falls
a
apart.
closing opportunity, or somebody jam me with a question that I couldn't answer. You understand where I'm coming
It
from?
happens,
It
yeah.
happens. So it doesn't mean that you would have had a bad day, just like you would have had your meeting, but the meeting didn't go as well as you wanted, but you would have learned something.
Correct.
It's better than having a meeting and then canceling the meeting for some shitty reason. You understand? And so you would not have moved forward because of the fact that you didn't have that meeting. That cancellation does not take you closer to the
Correct.
closer you need to get.
Yeah. So just to end off on a couple of things, just to remind persons, right? Because I know we spoke about, and the topic was just not sabotaging yourself. And sabotaging yourself just comes from understanding that the bird is not trying to sabotage us.
No.
The bird just wants to be in the conversation. He's just
Correct.
trying to figure out how to sell. All right, bird. We'll talk to you after, okay? No, but on a real, what it is that when you look at it in terms of sales, especially in sales, starting off with the right mindset is key. As in, when you before you pick up the phone, before you talk to your customer, you have to ask yourself where I'm at on a scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, the answer is not 10. Pause. Because honestly, it has to be 10.
Correct.
If you really want that success rate.
Yep.
And if it is that you have problems at home, or some bad thing happened, or your boss got you upset, or somebody gave you a bad drive, stop, find your reset,
Yeah.
and get to a 10.
Even if it means talking to somebody. Even if it means you have to call somebody just to get your mind off of what happened, or just to
And
get
reset.
clarity. You just need to get a reset.
Yeah, time the bird chiming in. That's the bird agreeing.
Yeah, the bird agrees.
That's the bird agreeing. But that's just to tell you guys, like, it, and I'll explain to you that where I'm in terms of my mindset and doing all these gratitude things and how I think positively, because a lot of persons, when they always ask me how I'm doing, I'm saying always good, can't ever complain.
Great. What do they write on the cup for you when you come to Starbucks?
My name is awesome. But that literally took, I can tell you that's 10 years of setting my mind like that.
Yep.
I can remember how, I can tell you like in the last 5 years is when I started saying always good.
Yeah.
And that's when I started introducing it. Before that,
Yeah.
so that's just us for this week. What we actually want to mention to you two guys as well is that this Thursday coming, you're out of focus, hit. This Thursday coming is our first mixer for the year. Why did it go? Alright, it might go back to focus now. Right. This is our first mixer for 2019. This Thursday, Häagen-Dazs West Mall at 5:30
To 7:30.
to 7:30. Here's the good thing. Don't stress if you cannot make it at 5:30. We usually go ahead way above time.
That's correct.
What I'm happy for is that we do have a great speaker coming, which is Leon Bernard. He's an entrepreneur who has his own trade marketing business. And what I'm happy for is that he's going to talk about sales from an entrepreneur's side, point of view, which I think is key, because a lot of you who we talk to are entrepreneurs, whether it is you literally have your own business or you are in sales selling for your company.
Correct.
So we want to let you all understand that there are a lot of ups and downs, just like what we talk here on the aspect of mindset. And you're going to understand that you're not alone, you're not unique, but there are ways you can overcome it. Alright? So of course, if you have any questions, as usual, message Lyndon or myself. You're always available. We love to chat. Lyndon prices coffee, water, Mariners coffee. And let's just
That's
have
it.
fun.
Yep.
Right? And we have some big announcements on Thursday too as well. So you don't want to miss that. Next week we're actually going to be going live. We have some big announcements on Thursday. If you've been paying attention to our stories, you would have noticed it. If you filled out the survey, you may have guessed it.
Right.
But we have big announcements coming. So this is Jarrod Best Mitchell.
Lyndon Bradford.
Sales is a profession. We out. Have a good
Have a
Sunday.
great Sunday, guys.